Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I have center chops, pork chops here. There's no bones in them, that's why they're called the center cut. What I did was I put some buttermilk on them after I rinsed them and patted them dry. This is flour left over. I always talk about my leftover flour that I'm using. This is what I'm going to be using to flour them in. And here are the particles that I always clean out of my flour. And I think I'm going to get a plate. Now this is a spicy rub for beef and for pork. It is spicy. I haven't, when I make it again, I'll have to give it to you again. I want this to be spicy today. We're going to have them with leftover rice that I had yesterday with meal. And these are big, yes they are. And I'm going to probably add some breadcrumbs onto them. Sometimes I like to do things differently, you know. Most people put a little seasoning in here and do it, and then you just barely get hit. If I want it to bite you back, I'll be heavy-handed. But this one bites back, but it's so good. Now they're going to sit there, and they're going to get moist, and this is where we're going to put a second coat on, except I'm going to add some of my breadcrumbs to this. I thought about stuffing these with applesauce, but applesauce goes so nice with pork, you know? So if you wanted to use it, I could serve it as a side dish, just to be different. So let them sit a bit, and we'll be back to do them a second time. So I'll be back at that point. Okay, I'm going to drench them in breadcrumbs. I took my breadcrumbs, I poured them in here with the flour, and now I'm just going to throw this over them. Let them take whatever breadcrumbs they want and just finish them up. Then when we're done with this, we're going to put oil on, and this will be the last time I'll use this oil because this will be the third time. I won't use it again. Now, these cuts don't have a lot of fat on them. Now you can fry them up completely and they're gonna be more on the tough side because there isn't any marbling in them. Oh, they're the center cuts and there's a lot of meat on them. You can stuff them, but this time I didn't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cook them about 3 minutes on each side. And then what I am going to do is put them in the oven and bake them 15 minutes at 425. Then I'm going to take them out. And then I'm going to make a gravy with the drippings that are in this pan and make a gravy and serve over the rice that will be served with this. Now, as to what I want to serve with it, I haven't decided if I want to serve a fruit cocktail with this meal or if I want to serve a vegetable. So I'm sort of hemming and hawing at this point. Should I go and get my canned fruit and make a dish next to this or not? So I'm sort of in a dilemma right now of what I'm going to do. But right now we're going to get this hot, and then we will be frying these up, and then I'll show you how we put them back in the pan, and then we're going to end up baking them. I think I use this one as long as I empty the water out. You know, my mother's towels were so stained because she really cooked. If you see women in the kitchen with towels that don't have stains on them, you know they don't cook. You can't cook and keep your towels clean. I mean, they're clean, but they're stained. No matter what you do, they're gonna be stained. If you're somebody who likes to cook and you spend a lot of time cooking, there's no way in heaven you can keep your towels spick and span. Mine, even the ones I dry my dishes with, they're stained as well. I just can't. And I know it's always nice to have perfectly clean towels laying around in your kitchen and the pot holders don't have stains on them and everything is so nice. It looks really nice in the kitchen, but it's not a working kitchen. A working kitchen has these problems. You're gonna have stains, you're gonna have stuff laying around over here. I never have enough counter space. I never have enough cabinet space. You would think, as big as this kitchen is this kitchen at one time, because I have a very old house, it's almost as old as my country, we had the old wallpaper underneath the paint and all when we were doing construction in here. And this was a bedroom, and yet I still don't have enough room in here. You begin to think. Well, anyway, that's life, I guess. I don't care how big a kitchen is, it'll never be big enough. I mean, it has gotten so bad that when I was canning and dehydrating and I was making sauerkraut, I had to put sauerkraut in the dining room on the floor because I didn't have any more room here. Because I had breads going, cultures going, I had too much going getting ready for the winter, and I just had to move everything. Everything was heading in other areas of the house. Well, I think you're ready. We'll find out in a minute. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to be frying these up 3 minutes on one side and 3 minutes on the other. And I'm going to go ahead and set the oven for 425. Because you're going to need it that hot so we can finish cooking, and then we're going to take them out. And then you'll see drippings in the pan, and then that's when we're going to sit there and start making a gravy. And I will be putting lecithin in it this time. I promised you last time and I didn't do it. So I will do it to show you how easy it is, and it doesn't affect the food, especially the granulars. They just dissolve right in. And the person who asked me, was I thinking of opening a restaurant? My husband and I had definitely looked into it, but there are so many rules and regulations and this and that and everything else. it's horrible. You can't. And I was going to just make a small one off the house and have like a 15, I wanted to make a dining room setting for 15 and only cook once a week, and there'd be the meal laid out for the first 15 people who came, and you were going to pay a flat rate for each person. This is what we thought would really be easy and it wouldn't be a lot of stress on the family and all. But when we got into finding out how many laws and regulations and everything else it was, it didn't make sense. Didn't make any sense at all. So we said no. So to the person who asked, the answer is no. I'm not thinking of that. I already went looking in that direction with him. Looking at the clock, we're just about ready to flip them. Okay, turning them over. It's only been 3 minutes. Breadcrumbs look like they're burning. I'll turn this down. Yeah, my breadcrumbs burnt a little, so I'll turn this down. I cook it for another 3 minutes. Don't worry, when I get in the gravy, it'll be fine. Alright, that'll be 2 after the hour, so I'm going to eat it, like I said, 3 minutes on each side. Be careful if you're using homemade breadcrumbs because they're darker, they burn faster. If you buy them in the store, not as much. Okay, now you know that these are not done yet. We still have to cook them more, but this is what they look like so far. So what I'm going to do, in a measuring cup, whoa, that's hot. We're going to pour this grease out. We're going to put these back in here. I know you're looking at me like, what is she doing? You'll see in a minute. See, this is the one that got burnt. That's the one. I'll turn them upside down. And we're going to take this whole pot, and we're going to stick it in the oven. We're going to leave it there for like 15 minutes. And by the way, don't forget that handle is hot when you bring it back out. I've burnt my hands enough times to let you know. So those are the drippings are going to be coming out, and then we're going to move it. I should have fried them up in another pan, but I didn't. I just used the frying pan. But what I'm going to cook them in and make the gravy in is into another pot. So I'll see you in 15 minutes. Okay, I moved you over here so you can actually see me make this gravy. Please be aware of this handle being hot when you take it out. I should know I've burnt myself enough times. I'm going to keep on repeating it. Right, I'm going to take these out because I'm going to transfer the drippings over here. And you'll see the drippings as we do this. Oh my God, they smell good. I should have done them in this pot. I really should have. But see, I know myself enough that I will forget and grab this handle. That's why I did it over there. I know myself. Now I am going to pour I want about 2 tablespoons, and that's all. That was the oil that I had just fried them in, and I took the drippings from that. See, I had to learn all these ratios as well, so it's a 2 to 2 making a gravy. This way, once you know the rules, you won't go wrong. I hear people just sprinkle flour in there and just work it around, you know, but if you're not going to learn the proper way, it's not going to help you. And if you want to be a good cook, you're going to have to learn this. I went and learned and listened to the elders. A little shy of oil, so I'll add more of that I put them in. Now what we're going to do is just cook this flour. It doesn't look like we're doing much, but we really are doing a lot. Because it has to brown. And when they say brown, it's actually you're toasting the flour. Be it whole wheat or all-purpose or bleached white or whatever, you're actually toasting it just like you would a piece of toast, except you're doing it here in oil. And that's the only difference. Come on, guys. And you'll smell it. It's not so much that you see it, is you will actually smell the toasting of it. The flour will be toasting. And we should get a good cup. And then what we'll do is put the center pork chops in here and let this just simmer in the gravy while we get the rest of the stuff done. Well, I will be getting the rest of the stuff done. Sorry about that. You're not. You're just watching. The reason I use a whisk, because the whisk makes sure you don't get lumps. I am tired. I've had a long day so far. And I'm using vegetable stock. If you're using whey, you'll have a lighter color. If you're using potato water, you'll have a lighter color. Just depends upon your stock. If you add water, it's going to be much lighter. And then you have to add Gravy Master or something like that to sit there and give it color. I want to learn how to make Gravy Master and make my own because I don't like what they put in theirs, so I won't use it. You don't need a lot of gravy, but you just want enough. You know, you're not going to drown it. This is just to put over the rice. That's what we're actually making, but we're going to let them sit in it while we're doing the rest of the stuff. Now, kelp doesn't go good with this, so I'll have to use iodized salt. Yeah, I've already been through that gamut. Experimenting in the kitchen. I still wonder how black pepper and beer would go in biscuits. I don't know why I was thinking of black pepper, but I was. Now we have fat in here, right? Because I added it and you saw me do it. Sandy, you will grab it again. I know you. Buy granular lecithin. Soy lecithin granulars, right? Whatever company you want. You'll find it at a health food store. Add 1 tablespoon. Now you give that time, they're gonna melt in there and eat the fat of whatever fat's in here. And that's on the meat. When you put the meat in, they are going to eat it all up. And they dissolve. Just have to wait for them to dissolve and that'll be it. Granular lecithin has no flavor, see? And they come from soybeans. And they use soybeans to make paint. And it's a byproduct, and they call soy granulars a byproduct of paint. The paint, they use soybeans, and they take the lecithin out because it causes it to streak. That's why they have to take it out. Now see? It's almost completely dissolved. Yes, I burnt those. But I'm not perfect. I wouldn't tell anybody I was. Now this gravy will go over the rice. And we're just going to keep this meat hot in here. And let it simmer a bit with it. I know, I'll probably burn myself if you hear me scream. This is just a different way of serving center pork chops. And because I use all these stocks that I make, they're so full of flavor, I don't have to add a lot of seasonings to the meat and stuff that I'm cooking. Turn that down to simmer. Where's my lid? Let that go while I decide what else I want to make for dinner. Anyway, that's how I make a gravy, and if you're worried about your fat, all what you have to do is add that lecithin in there and it eats it up, and it does dissolve if you just give it a little bit of time. All right? So anyway, you take care and enjoy your day. Bye. Okay, here they are, the center pork chops in their gravy. You take care and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.